Hello and welcome to round 9 of the F3 Championship. We're in Bahrain this week for round 9 here as the season reaches its final 4 races. We've got a couple of new guys in this week, Francis Jessica here and Vanos Gaming as well will be referred to as Jai throughout the commentary, who is currently in 8th position. So Bahrain, 29 laps, very heavy on rear tyre wear, so it'll be interesting to see whether we'll see 1 or 2 stops. They are very similar in pace, so it'll be interesting to see what these guys go for. As you can see, a couple of guys gone for the softs. Smertens and Bendel, the 2 Renault drivers, have gone for them, and indeed Racer and Cooley have. Everyone else currently on the super soft tyres, the fastest compound available. The mediums are the other tyre, of course, available to the drivers. 1 stop is possible off of the supers. It will be tricky to maintain tyre wear though, so 1 stops from super soft to medium. Will be looking to stop around between lap 9 and 11. 2 stoppers will be stopping shorter than that depending on where they start, what they start on. Softs could possibly go 2 stop if they really wanted to, but if they start on softs they will probably go 1 stop, as James does a 1:28.8. I'm not sure if that's actually an improvement or not. So we see Vanos getting wheeled into the pit. It's not Vanos. Vanos is in the Sauer, and here he is now, coming out behind the Ferrari. So all eyes on the newbies today. It's a little bit of a step out of oversteer there. He is using no assists, apparently, so we'll see how he gets on. Who's yet to settle up? We've got Miles, Jake. Jake is a pretty quick one. He's out in the Force India at the moment. His teammate Timsher is doing well. He's in P5 at the moment with a 1:29.5. You see all the lap times. The only 1:28 so far is James E. I would imagine Steve would break that time. Is he out on track at the moment? Yes, he is. No, he's not. Sorry. So we'll see if Steve will come out and set a better lap. Of course, he's in the Red Bull with Ollie. Ollie has not managed to join the session, I don't think. Oh no, there it is, P2. As Miles retires from the session. Here comes Steve now. I think he would go pole. He's got 1:40 to get round. Should be enough time if he doesn't take his time too much. Aaron Taylor currently on a lap, so he's on his out lap. Bendel retires as well, along with Jake. So Jake's starting all the way down 12th position at the moment. Interesting to see where these guys start. Cooley also calling it on the soft tyres, so a lot of these guys want to start on the softs. Fear I don't think is out at the moment, as Aaron Taylor comes across the line now to start his flying lap. So James E is still out on track. Where is Steve? This is the big one. He's got to get round in a minute, so he's got enough time. Is he on for a good starting position here as he comes over the first sector line now? There's a 28.7, so it's not a horrendous first sector. It could have been a bit better though. He needs to try and hook up this middle sector now. Be interesting to see what setups people are running as well this weekend. Comes through back straight now as Vanos goes quickest at 1:28.7. It's a good lap from the new guy. Still a long way off what we could be potentially seeing. As the checker flag is out now, Steve is on a lap. Aaron Taylor, can he produce some goods here into the last corner now? I don't think it's going to be enough. It's probably going to be a 129. And it does a 129.5, which keeps him P10. Where is Steve though? He's a potential pole sitter. And unfortunately we're going to see Aaron go round because the game will not let us change. So it'll be interesting to see where Aaron actually... where Steve actually ends up. Is he still out on track? I'd hope so. So at the moment, everyone's... And Smerton does a good lap. He's 11th on the softs. That's a really good lap from him. And Steve will cross the line shortly. I imagine Kuna Matata goes third. He's a 128.870, and Steve only does a 129. That is surprising. Polar starting in fourth with a 128.977. It's a good lap from him. Francis Jessica as well with a decent lap. We're just waiting for a couple of others. I think it's Vanos we're waiting for to retire. And then we'll confirm the grid. So, as you can see there, newcomer Vanos goes pole with a 128.7. James is not far behind him with a 128.771. He's also on the Super Softs along with Kuna Matata, the championship leader here in F3. So Jamesy will be hot on his tail going into this race. Polar Bear's a good qualifying for him, starting 4th, 5th, Steve 6th, Ollie 2 Red Bull starting on the 3rd row, Francis Jessica 7th, Timsha 8th, KLC and Aaron rounding out the top 10, and we've got Smerton starting on the softs in 11th, so he's done well there. And we'll just wait for the drivers to have their 2-minute grace period before the race. And unfortunately we've had 2 of our drivers press X immediately, and that is KLC and Fear, so KLC and Fear will be receiving 10-second time penalties, unfortunately. So unfortunately they won't get their 2 minutes warm up. Not quite sure what happened with Vanos there. Vanos will lead the pack away though. So they go around on their formation up now. Wait for them to all get round. Got Monster starting at the back of the grid. In the McLaren, which would normally be Keegan, who is not here. Although I thought he was here, to be fair, but there you go. So he will start at the back. He's actually representing Sauber. Fear starting second to last. There's a lot of drivers here this week. 19s. We've almost got a full grid. Just Keegan we're missing this week. So a good turnout for F3. So Vanos isn't hanging around here on the formation there. He wants to get this race started as quickly as he can here. He is really going for it now. Going to the last sector, he's going to have fairly worn tyres. We'll just wait for Cookmore to get into position, that's who we're waiting for. So we just wait for these guys to get into position. I believe that's Showjaw's down there. It is indeed. So we will wait for all the other drivers to get into position. And hopefully we will have a clean getaway here in Bahrain. Heavy braking zone down to turn 1 in this first lap. Especially if you're further back down the grid at higher speed once you actually approach the first corner. But hopefully they will get away cleanly today. So here we go then for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix in F3, 5 lights, out they go, and we're off here, and it looks like Vanos got off to a poor start, and it looks like the Ferrari of James is going to get in there. We've got a Haas up the inside as well, and Vanos has lost the lead already, and he's been squeezed out by Jamesy there, and a good three-way battle for the lead as Jamesy takes it. Kuna Matata hangs back in third, and it's Jai in second place at the moment. We've got a tussle going on right down the back at the moment. And it's one of the Williams there causing damage to one of the Renaults, I think. Front wing damage for one of the Renaults, definitely. I think that may have been Bender. Oh, we've got two cars off. The Force India of Timshire and the Williams of, who is that racer, I think. He's managed to keep the car going, although he is spinning around in circles. As Jamesy retains the lead for now. He's got Jai right behind him in the Salvos. Lagging all over the place at the moment in the Sauber. We've got Francis Jessica up to 4th place now. And we've got Ollie off in the background. He's not having a good day either, as he continues to lose positions. We've got Fear down positions as well. Miles has gone down a couple of positions. And there's that Jamesy retaking the lead there. I think it was just glitched and unfortunately showing us what's already happened. Miles is all the way down the back. He's lost it coming out of turn 10. He's still going though, that's good to see. As we've got these two fighting up front now. Kuna Matata just behind them as well. We've got Francis Jessica, a great start up into 4th in the Williams car. And who's that into the pits? Was that someone? Nope, it was just Vanos taking a very interesting line there. So that's the fastest lap of the race. Into turn 1, is he going to have a look? Nope, he's going to hold position for now. He'll come through to complete a first lap, and it is Aaron Taylor in the pits, of course. I thought it was one of the Renaults actually that had wing damage. Fear is okay. We've got Aaron who's putting the mediums on. We've also got the racer in, and Miles who's coming around the last corner now. They're all into the pits. Jamesy holds the lead for now. We've got Jai behind him. Is he going to have a look? No, not quite. Into turn 8 as Timshire has put it in the wall. We'll try and find where that is. And there you go, so he's lost it coming out of, I think that's turn 3 there. And he's hit the front right, so he must have just lost the back end, or he's been hit by someone up the rear. Of course there will be no safety car. Meanwhile back up the front, it's these two fighting for it. Kuna Matata dropping off slightly. Steve is there or thereabouts behind Francis Jessica. And as you can see, waving all over behind the Ferrari. Can he try and get past with DRS this lap? It won't be on the start-finish straight, however. So Timshire, our first DNF, unfortunately only 2 laps into the Grand Prix. Down to 18 runners already. So now we'll get the notification saying that DRS is enabled, hopefully. James, he's setting the fastest lap of the race there. We've got a battle for 4th place in the background. Look at this. Long train of cars behind Francis Jessica. They're doing well at the moment. Big train of cars there. There's a Force India, a couple of Red Bulls in there as well. One of the Haas cars, and Steve going up the inside. He's lost the back end. And he's almost put it in the wall where Tim should put it in the wall. He's kept it going though. And we've got a very wide Haas through there. That is the American of Polar Bears. And all Polar Bears, I'm not sure what happened there. It's had a bit of a moment. The Haas driver, as they touch wheels coming into turns 9 and 10. It's all very close, and as we see Ollie go wide, his teammates gone wide as well, and they're both going to drop down the order now. Can Steve fight back now into turn 11? He's going to try and have a look. No, he's going to stick behind Polar Bears for now. Great race in the opening few laps from the midfield guys. Ollie's down in 8th now. Cook is up to 9th. KLC down in 11th place. He's got a bit of clear air now. We've got a battle for 11th as well. We've got Cooley and that's Bendel getting past Showjords. Showjords going very wide, and I think Bendel's just going to return the favour here. He's gone wide himself. Van Ossetting fast lap of the race, and it's very close between the front two. Is he going to have a look down into turn 1? The gap is around a 10th of a second. He goes up the inside. Can Jamesy respond? He swoops around the outside. Jai's not going to have a chance, I don't think, and Jamesy keeps the position for now. Good battling there from those guys. Steve is closing in now on Jake, and look at this battle for 5th place, as we've got Polar Bears going up the inside now. Jake on the soft tyres. Will he be given the room? Polar Bears takes the inside line. Can Jake get the cut back? He does indeed. He's played that well, the Force India driver. On the soft tyres, he can go for a one-stop if he can make those softs last long enough. You'd hope he can, considering they're the harder compound compared to everyone else around him. We've got Polar Bears in 6th place still. He's right behind him. Steve lingering in the background, and of course his teammate Ollie not far behind. We skip back up to the front, and it is still Jai chasing Jamesy here for 1st place. Jamesy just controlling the pace at the moment. These guys beginning to break away from Kuna Matata, the championship leader. And this will do Jai the world of good in terms of promotion. He can still get promotion if he pushes it. 18 points here today would see him right up into the sort of mid-table area. But Smerton's not having a good race at the moment, means that Steve is only going to get a bigger gap over him, and Jake is doing well in P5 at the moment. As we've got one of the Red Bulls in the background heading into the pits. I believe that was Steve. It was indeed. So he's gone for an early stop. 2-stop for him definitely, unless he can try and make those mediums last all the remaining laps, and indeed he's going on to the soft. So a 2-stop strategy for one of the Red Bull drivers. As we have Cooley going past now, so he's going to be in a bunch of traffic, as he's going to come out in P15. No, maybe not. Smertens is quite a way behind. No, he's got some clean air though. He's got a pretty decent gap, to be fair to him. We've got a good battle here, and we've got Vanos up the front making a move, and he's gone wide, so I'm not quite sure what happened there between those two. He's dropped a little bit there to Jamesy. This would be good for Kuna Matata though. I'd like to see these two fighting. He's title contender Jamesy up in front. There's a 9-point deficit to Kuna Matata, but that will be overcome with the result as it stands. Anyone else really close? We've got a battle going on down the order for P13 as Showjords goes deep into turn 10. He's fighting with his teammate Cooley. These two have struggled all season for consistency, really. Having a decent race at the moment. They're behind Fear at 11th, who's actually had a really good start, to be fair. And as you can see, Cook Monster all the way up from the back into 8th place at the moment. Jake has done well up from 13th, and Fear as well up from 18th on the grid. Unfortunately, everyone behind them hasn't done so well. Showjords and Cooley have picked off those that have put it in the wall. They've done well so far though. See, Vanos just dropping back a tiny bit from Jamesy there as they come up the hill into turn 4 now. No DRS on this section of the track. You do wonder if Kuna Matata's just sort of biding his time, maybe just waiting for a mistake from these two. Maybe he's on the one-stop strategy, so he's just saving his tyres that little bit longer. And we've got a fight going on for P12. at the moment, and it's Fear as he had an incident. Yeah, he has, he's off, he's in P13 now, he's up in P11 at one point. And we'll follow these guys round for a bit, because they will get DRS on the next straight. See their great view of the circuit there as we've got Show Jaws in front, just going a little touch wide out of turn 7 in the S section into turns 9 and 10. Now tricky braking zone, this will really be a matter of make or break, and we see Show Jaws going a bit deep there as he maybe lost the ground to Fear. No, he's got a good exit in fairness to him. So we'll go back up to the front now where we've got Vanos and Jamesy chasing each other again. KLC gets his warnings totaled up for 3 seconds, and Vanos has not got the straight line speed, it looks like. Jamesy with a decent amount of rather a lack of downforce on that car, and he's gone very deep into turn 1. I don't think Giant's going to be able to capitalise as Cook Monster is speeding in the pit lane. He's actually in the pit, so we'll see where he comes out. KLC also in the pits in the Haas. Is he going to hold up the McLaren? Oh, only just getting out in front, and he's onto the softs as well, so 2 stops looking like the preferable strategy here today. Steve is up in P12. We've got Fear fighting for position again with Joe George. The gap is about half a second between the front two now. Kuna Matata dropping off a further 2.5 off of Jai. So we've got Show George in the pit as well. And we'll just skip over to him. And has he come out in front of Racer? He has indeed. And these two fighting for position. Racer's going up the inside, and he very nearly gets his nose chopped off in front of him there. Got to be so careful with these overtakes now. Car's so much wider, so much harder to overtake in these cars. Show just go deep into turn 8, but I think he's just about got away with that. Aaron on his own in 14th place. A bit of a gap in front and behind him. Jamesy still leading by just over half a second. Kuna Matata behind them by a further 2 seconds. And as you can see there, Steve making a position switch, overtake on Fear, and Fear's actually in the pits, so the Toro Rosso driver has pulled into the pits. Vanos gets a 5-second stop go penalty. Wonder what that would have been for. He's dropped back as well, so that's interesting. He's getting a front wing change as well, Fear, so he must have had a bit of a tussle with Show George maybe. Cooley, sorry, is in. And here comes his teammate as they come across the start finish line now. Racer will get out in front of these two as well. So what has happened with the front two? Because Vanos is further back and he's got a 5-second stop go, so I'm not sure whether he'll peel that or not. Kuna Matata's still dropping back, he can't get anywhere near these guys. Francis Jessica doing a very good job indeed. And everyone has made one stop now apart from the top 7. So it's promoted Bender all the way up into 7th. Vanos continuing to drop back, Jai I should say. See the Williams now, Francis Jessica going over the line to complete her 9th lap. You can see there he's getting the pit flashing on his dash there. So whether he'll put this up or not, I'm not quite sure. Might go supers mediums, we'll see. I would expect the front guys to. And we've got a yellow in sector 1, and that is Racer gone. Let's just have a look where he's had this, and oh, that is a very interesting place to have. So he's done it coming out of where is this actually? This is right down the back end of the circuit. And it might have been coming out of turn 14 there, and Timshire has gone. Shojos has a stop go as well. Vanos really dropping back now, so I don't know if he's just got really bad tyre. As you can see there's the car of Racer. He's dropping back rapidly at the moment. He's struggling for tyre wear. He's obviously got really bad rear wear. And Kuna Matata, look how close he is now. Jamesy with that gap is will be laughing to himself. Shojos in the pit for a second time already. Steve is some 30 seconds behind Jamesy, and we have Kuna Matata in the pits. So, considering Vanos is struggling, and as we've got a lapped car come out in front of him, Shojos has got to get out of the way. He's trying to do so, and he very nearly takes the front wing off of the new driver. He's got away with the Polar in third place now. Still going on those super softs. Wouldn't surprise me if they pick this lap for mediums. Kuna Matata, where's he come out? He's going to come out in very fresh air. Because the nearest guy is Steve, and look at the gap he's got to him, so he's done that well there, Kuna Matata. We've got Francis Jessica not far behind. He's been pressured by Ollie. But I don't think Ollie will really challenge him. He's on soft tyres, so he will have to pit again. Meanwhile, up. Oh, Polar's made a overtake. Oh, and he's had a puncture for Jai. It is indeed. His rear left has gone. It was going oh so well for the new driver, and he's got a puncture in the rear right, and that will not do him any good whatsoever. Weaving coming down the back straight, trying to keep the car in a straight line, and it has completely backfired on the newbie. He's tried to go for the one stop clearly, and his setup just clearly wasn't up to the challenge, so he will limp back to the pits now. Very slow now down this section, and we've got Jamesy in the pits. He is on the medium tyres, as you can see there. Polar also in. I'm presuming mediums for the American also. Yep, indeed, there you go, the white wall medium tyres are going on. So Jake now into third place. He's also into the pits. He's put on a fresh set of soft tyres. Steve is coming through now, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out in relativity to the guys behind him, or in front of him rather. We've got a massive fight now for 4th, 5th and 6th. Maybe even 7th as well, yes, because Jake is there. Cook Monster's not far behind either. And it's Francis Jessica as well that's now behind Steve, and there's a big train now. This should be good to watch, hopefully, as we've got finally Jai in the pits. And he's going to come out way down in P13. He's got a lot of work to do now. Kelsey almost losing it coming through turn 4 there. He's got a half a second gap or so to Aaron. So swoop through the S's now into the right hand hairpin of turn 8. Up the hill and back down again into turns 9 and 10, tricky braking zone. Hard to nail the corner really. But they seem to be getting through quite well at the moment. Both the Renault drivers running the mediums there. As you can see, Smerton's in front of Bendel at the moment. It's been a regular pattern for those guys. They're doing well though, solid performance again. Kuna Matata now has a 4-second deficit to Jamesy, and you can just about see the Ferrari up ahead in the distance. But I wonder if he'll have... And Fearer's finally put it in the wall. And I say finally because it was surely only a matter of time. Now where has he done that? Because he's put it in the wall. That's turned 10 I believe. So I'm not sure where he's done that. We'll try and see with Shojos where he's put it in the wall. Come back to him in a moment. Cooley going around his teammate. So Shojos will hopefully show us where The other guys have crashed it. Oh, and it's very close through here with the Red Bull and Williams of Steve and Francis. So, can't really see the Red Bull. I don't know where he's put it in the wall. Interesting that. Anyway, Fear is out of the race. We were down to 16 runners from 19. And we've got Francis Jessica getting overtaken by both of the Red Bulls as they come down the straight. That is unfortunate. We fight back now. Oh, and it's a nip and tuck move from Ollie. Had to be careful not to swipe the front wing. He's right behind his teammate. Look at this, 3 wide potentially going into the first corner now. The Williams moves to the right. It's the 2 Red Bulls on the left. Surely they're not going to go through this in one piece if they go 3 abreast. And they're all switching positions. It's Francis Jessica that takes the initiative up the inside. But it's Ollie that gets the better of them both. And he is through up into 3rd place. And the Williams coming back again as Ollie defends the inside. Steve just behind him. Francis Jessica powering around the outside as he got the grip. Ollie gets a little touch and the Williams is through. Steve will be getting held up by his teammate at the moment. He's all over the place trying to get past him. Great battling from these guys for 4th place, the 3rd place, sorry, the last podium position. And great battling from these guys. Now, can we see a bit more perhaps from these guys? Can they put another trick out of the bag? Of course, there's DRS on this next stretch, and they'll probably wait till the start finish straight now. So we've got Jake closing in the background as well. He's on a 2-stop strategy though, whereas Francis Jessica on a 1-stop. Both the Red Bulls also on a 2-stop, so it'll be interesting to see where they finish. KLC up into 10th place now. We've got Aaron in 11th, Bendel's 12th, and we've got Jai in 13th place. He is catching Bendel quite quickly actually, so we'll maybe jump on board with him quickly. Oh yeah, and there you go, up the inside of turn 11. Bendel trying to hold the position. Nope, he's just going to let him sweep around the outside. We've still got the wrecked car of Racer, unfortunately, on track. Fairly easy move then for Vanos, or Jai rather, in the end. The battle for 3rd has calmed down just for now. Jake in the background closing up now. So we've got yellows in sector 2 and 3. I think there's still Racer's car. These guys still battling. And you see Ollie there just having a look through the S's. He won't get past there, that's for sure. Into the tight and twisty section of the circuit now. Not many corners that make it up, I'll say that. But Ollie a little bit slower there going into the corner. But I say that, and Francis Jessica has gone very wide. And he's actually got past the Williams driver. So that was a very interesting scene of events there, because Ollie had seemed to have taken the apex very slowly, but Francis Jessica had completely missed it and gone wide. So that's a interesting action that's happened there. They both go wide coming out of the fast right-hander as they come down one of the 4 long straights here in Bahrain. Now, can Francis Jessica get back the position? Kunumatata continues to fall back from what will be championship leader. I say what will be championship leader, he won't be. Steve is back in the pits. So is he going to put on these soft tyres? He's not, he's going on to the mediums. That is an interesting call. And he's getting a nose change as well. So unless he's had damage, which I can only presume he has, considering he's had a front wing change, that is an interesting strategy, because the mediums could have gone quite a bit further as Jai closes in on Aaron now. As we can see, everyone sort of spread out at the moment. As Ollie getting back past Francis Jessica, and he's got the move done. Oh, and they very nearly touch. Coming through the middle sector, Francis Jessica having a look up the inside into 10. He won't get past there, I wouldn't have thought. And we've got Jake in the background is now fighting for position also. Francis Jessica trying to get his nose alongside Ollie. into turn 11. He's gone up the inside. Can Ollie hold it around the outside? He's being pushed wide by the Williams driver. And Jake has got through as well. Ollie's going to maybe clip the back of him. No, he's kept it clean. Fair play between these three. Really good racing at the moment. Unbelievable stuff. And we've got Ollie down into 5th, who was in 3rd a few moments ago. Francis Jessica going very defensive into the last corner. Jake trying to sweep round the outside. Ollie will be able to take advantage of the situation now as they're both slowed up on a exit and they're all jostling for position now. This is the final podium spot we're looking at here. Even halfway through the race they're still fighting as if it were the last lap. Into the first corner now. Who's going to have a go, if anyone? Jake's going to try and swoop round the outside of Francis Jessica, and he's done that brilliantly there, the Force India driver. We've got the Red Bull of Ollie now. He's going to have a look down into turn 4. They're all queuing up to make a move. Jake takes the inside. Ollie's just going to stay back for now. We've got contact between the two in front. And the Williams will lose the position now. Ollie is through back up into P4. Great racing from these guys. Really good stuff to watch at the moment as we've got Jai making a move on Aaron. I can't imagine that that will last very long. There you go. Aaron's back through. Has he got a bit deep? Yep, he has. So either lost the position there. He's not getting back now. Unless Jai makes a mistake. And he's got half the front wing by the looks of things. So Aaron's clearly got damage from one of those overtakes. Joe George is a lap car, so hopefully we'll get out of the way of KLC pretty quickly. He was actually having a fairly decent race this weekend. Poda up into 6th place. He's catching Ollie now, so he's going to join in for this battle for 3rd. Cook wants to drop into 5th now. We've had someone drop off. Ollie's dropped right off, actually, having said that. So that's why Poda's caught him. So it will be Francis Jessica and Jake fighting for that final podium spot. Kuna Matata continues to fall back from James. He just hasn't got the pace by the looks of things. Is he going to have a look down to turn 1? He is indeed. And a superb move. He makes it stick, and he's done that very well indeed. Can he hold the position now? Jake being squeezed off the track as they touch wheels. I think Jake's just got the extra rubber at the moment. He's maybe got a pit again, I think. But he's back past Williams, is he? The Williams trying to swoop round the outside. Is Jake going to hold the position sideways as they come through turn 5? And it's a brilliant piece of racing yet again from these two. Great respect between the two drivers. But Jake gets the position back. Is the Williams going to maybe have a look down the inside? He is indeed. That was a late call indeed. And I can't imagine Jake will be too happy with that one. Francis Jessica needs to remember he's on a one-stop. Looking up the inside into turn 9. Surely not there. It's a very risky overtaking spot. So one line through there, really. Brilliant stuff as we see Aaron in the pits. Francis Jessica has that straight line speed quite clearly. Very eager to get past. Great race between these two at the moment with a little bit of rubber band lag there. Nothing too major. And the race behind them is for P5. And that is Ollie, who I think has to make another stop. Let's just have a look. So, yeah, everyone on the soft tyres apart from those guys behind Steve have all got to make another stop, unfortunately. That'll be interesting to see where they come out. Now, does he have the straight line speed here, Ollie? Good Monster trying to move out of the way to prevent any chance of an overtake. Ollie's not going to quite go for it just yet. Francis Jessica again. Look how close he is to the back of Jake. And Miles has gone from the session, unfortunately. So we're down to 15 runners now. This is the outside line not quite working again. Jake defending well at the moment. We've got Ollie having a look at Cook Monster. Holubis just dropped off a little bit. He's on the mediums though, so he'll be good to go till the end now, whereas Ollie will have to pit. Back up to the battle for the final podium position. Kuna Matata's taken 6/10 out of Jamesy in the last couple of laps, so he is beginning to reel him back in now, the championship leader. So we'll have a look down into turn 11. Swooping left-hander as they come up through this hilly S section now. Trying to follow one another to get the slipstream. He's having a move here. That's a very optimistic move, and I think he pulled out of it in the end. very eager to get the overtakes done, which is sometimes a bad thing as it can cause problems. And Kuna Matata is the fastest lap of the race. He is catching James Eat at an almighty rate now. 7/10 in the last 2.5 laps. As they come over the start finish line now with 11 laps to go. Is it going to be a move from Francis Jesco? Moves to the outside. Jake holds the inside. He goes back to the inside. It's going to be a move up the inside from the Williams driver. Can he make it stick this time? Jake trying to go around the outside. Is he going to get the inside for turn 2? He is. Through turn 3 now. And I think the Williams of Francis Jesco is just about held it. He has. Jake is going to have a go surely into turn 4. Trying to go around the outside now. Can he get Francis Jesco on the cutback? No, Francis Jesco holds the line through the S section now, side by side. Oh my goodness, and they somehow don't touch, and they've kept it very clean between those two yet again. Brilliant driving. Unbelievable stuff from these two, fighting for the last podium position. Changing positions every single lap at the moment. Brilliant to watch between those two. We'll flick back to those in a moment, but we've got Ollie, who is defending from Cook Monster, so he's actually got past Cook Monster at some point. I didn't see that. We've got Polar Blitz closing in behind as well. Francis Jesco's got back past Jake. No, sorry, no he hasn't. He was already in front. So easy to forget Show Jaws leaves the session. No, he is still going round, so he's not DNF'd. Jake gets the 3-second time penalty. That could cause him a bit of trouble considering he's got to pit again as well. Kuna Matata keeps that gap at 6 seconds for the moment. We've got Cook Monster now coming down the straight. Is he going to have a look at Ollie, maybe down to the last corner? Not quite yet. This is, so we've got to keep an eye on though. Jake fighting for promotion from F3 into F2. Is he going to have a look? Surely not, he's too far back. Oh, he's going to have a go, he's going to have a go! And the Williams driver's not going to give him any space, and he's turned into him. I think that was maybe a slightly more aggressive dive bomb than he was hoping for, certainly that Francis Jesco was hoping for, so unfortunately I think there was a bit of wing damage there. Hopefully nothing too major. Ollie has kept the position for Cook Monster as Polar Blitz continues to reel them in. Smertens is in the pit. He's onto the soft tyres, so I don't know if he started on those mediums. No, he didn't, so that is an interesting call there from the Renault driver. As we see Kuna Matata now dropping back again from Jamesy. Jamesy just has the pace at the moment on those medium tyres. They're not actually super soft tyres, it is a glitch, I can assure you that. Aaron Taylor, oh, losing the back end there through turn 2. Trying to chase down Smertens. I don't think he'll catch up to him now, although he might be on fresh rubber, so we'll see how that pans out for him. Last points position, we've got Bendor. Don't think he's really under any pressure from KLC. Steve is in 9th place, so he's got to get a move on, that's for sure. And those mediums really holding him back now. He's not able to extract the most out of his car. We've got Jai now up into 8th place. He's chasing Polar Blitz. Don't think he's really going to get anywhere near enough to have an opportunity. Mind you, they're only just in front. And as you can see now, oh, and I thought Francis Jesco was going to pit then with an interesting strategy. And we've got Kuna Matata in the pits. So that is an interesting call. He's gone super softs, medium super softs, and he's had a bit of a prang with someone or something because he's had a front wing change. So that's why he was losing time. Presumably, he's going to be losing the lead in the championship now. I can assure you that. The gap only 9 points, 25 points for a win. Ollie's in the pits as well. So Ollie's had an incident with someone. KLC, is he going to get past Ollie here? He's going to have the speed, but I don't think he's going to have the track distance he needs. He's just behind him. Ollie not too far in front of these two, so definitely one to watch out for now for those guys. Kuna Matata will be flying through the field, so he'll be another one to keep an eye on. As Jake moves up into 2nd place, he's still not pitted off of those softs, so maybe a one stop onto the soft tyres. That'd be extraordinary if he pulled that off. He's got another 9 laps to go though, so whether he can hold out or not, we will find out. And Francis Jesco just holding position for now, whether he's got wing damage or not from that little incident we had a lap or so ago. I'm not quite sure, but he's definitely still with the Force India driver, on for his best finish this season. Of course, Francis Jesco is one of our new drivers this weekend, doing a brilliant job for himself at the moment. And Jake heads into the pits, followed in. No, maybe not by Francis Jessica. Now, I do wonder whether that was actually a legal move or not. I'm pretty sure there won't be a hefty penalty for that, as Cook Monster gets a 5-second stop go. He's followed Jake in then. And is Jake going to get held up here? Oh, I think he did, you know. I think he got held up a little bit by the McLaren. As we've got Kuna Matata coming past now. Jake's going to lose the position to Steve as well, I think. Where is Jake? He's coming up pit exit now. So yeah, he's lost the position to Steve as well. So Francis Jessica will be laughing his head off at the moment, because he's got an easy P2 on his hands, unless Polar Blizz can somehow reel him in by 5 seconds in the next 8 laps. Aaron Taylor sending the fastest lap of the race on those fresh softs. We've got Kuna Matata not really near anyone at the moment. Steve behind him on the slowest tyre. We've got some interesting strategies going here today. Few on the 2-stop, few on the 1-stop back, reverting to the 2-stop because of the tyre wear or wing damage, whatever it may be. Jai's back up into 4th place now, as we can see the Sauber driver only 3.2 seconds behind Polar Blizz, who's on for a podium here if he can keep it going. Brilliant from the Haas driver today. Of course, time penalties will have a factor to play. As you can see now, Jamesy has a nearly 30-second lead. He is absolutely flying, and he's definitely on course for F2 at the moment. Kuna Matata, has he maybe thrown F3 away? Of course, it doesn't really matter. There's no big prizes in F3. F2 is where it's all about for these guys. They'll be focusing on just getting promoted, keeping it clean. And so that is what it's all about in this division. You can be fast, but if you're not a good racer, then it all backfires. We've had that with quite a few drivers, as Kuna Matata sets the fastest lap of the race on fresh super softs. I'd be interested to see if he can catch Jai. I think he's too far behind. Yeah, he's got a 5-second gap. Mind you, he's got 6 seconds. Sorry, 7 laps to catch him. As we've got a battle for position here. Oh no, Bendel's in the pit. Sorry. So he's pitting off the mediums as well with 7 laps to go. That is an interesting one. So whether he just felt the wear just isn't there, which would be very interesting, because it is about 22 seconds for a pit stop round here. So he's got to gain that back on the super soft. So I don't think he will, because that's about 3 seconds a lap. So that's quite a interesting decision there. Cooley coming past now. He's not going to get anywhere near Bendel. Aaron running around in P12, Smerton's P11. He's behind KLC for the last point. Just to see if these guys have a little tussle towards the end of the race. Might be quite good to watch. Jake is tucked right up behind Steve. Is he going to have a look down to turn 11? No, he's going to keep his car in position for now. He's on fresher tyres, so he's got to try and get past Steve as quick as he can to try and catch up to Kuna Matata. And Cook Monster has left the session. He's still going round though, so he's not retired. And as you can see, a much tighter line there from the 14, who's right up the back now of the Red Bull. Is he going to have a look down into turn 14 maybe? On the brakes, no, he's going to stick behind him again, so he's just going to get him in the DRS down to 1. Look how close they are going through the last corners. Jake will have the straight line speed, he will have the DRS, he will have the extra grip. He's got everything he needs in his favour at the moment. He goes to the outside, Steve defends the inside. He's going to go deep into the corner. Steve indeed is, and it's Jake swooping around the outside on the fresh super softs, and he's up into P6. Good racing from those two. Jake has been involved in some great racing today. Full credit to him. Kuna Matata with a 7.5 second gap. He is closing rapidly now on Jai in front of him in the Sauber. He's got to watch out now, Jai, because he's only got a 4-second gap, and he's got 2 seconds to Polar Blizz, who's still on for that podium. See there's the Sauber in the background. Coming through shortly will be the Toro Rosso of Kuna Matata, the championship leader as of prior to this race, because Jamesy will currently lead the championship if Kuna Matata cannot get third, which I'm pretty sure he's not. But mind you, Polar is on old mediums, so we get to see what is to develop. Kuna Matata has dropped off a little bit there, as he may be. No, he's just looked a bit of a longer gap than it was before. He's still going round. So you could see a 4-way battle for third here if Jake gets a move on. He's got 7 seconds to catch on Kuna Matata alone. Might be a bit of a tall ask. Steve and Ollie back together again. These two stick together like glue when it comes to going around the track. Kuna Matata's got that gap down to 2.3. Jai has got his gap down to 1.7, so he's catching very, very slightly. But Polar Blizz is beginning to catch Francis Jessica here, I think, maybe. He's not going to catch the Williams in time. He's got pace here. That's the Haas driver. To come through the middle sector now, this will be where time will be gained and lost at its most because of the nature of the circuit in this middle sector. Very tight and twisty, and also some very long tyre hungry corners. As you see now, the gap down to 1.4 for Kuna Matata. He is catching these guys, and he may retain, well, he's not going to retain the championship lead because he's got to get better than third to retain it, as it is 15 points for a third and first for 25 points for a first place finish, so he'll be behind by 1 point if he finishes in third place. But he's definitely catching these guys. Jake, I don't think he's going to get close enough, unfortunately. He's just not got the pace. He's dropping back a little bit now, but Kuna Matata is flying at the moment. As you can see, Polar Blizz will be enjoying the sight of Kuna Matata behind Jai, because it means that it's just going to get a little bit longer to pull away, a little bit. Oh, it is very aggressive. What's happened there? So he's let Kuna Matata do it. That's very aggressive move there from Jai. I'm very surprised. He's jolted his car to the right to let him through. Very interesting there. So he's not going to bother. He's going to let Kuna Matata attack Polar Blizz, and he goes, go after him. I'll sit behind you and pick up on a 4th place. He's just surrendered to 4th place, so hopefully he's got the pace, because Kuna Matata certainly has. Polar Blizz has been in front all this time. So what if that's tactics there from Jai? We'll find out in a bit. Only got 4 laps to go now, 3.5 really. Jamesy still extending his lead over the Williams of Francis Jessica, and he has been on top form here today. And that's a 3-second time penalty for Kuna Matata, so he's going to drop down because he's at least got 2 of those. He's going very slowly through this next section, but they've got a legal overtake. They're all 3 of them together now. Polar Blizz trying to sweep around the outside. He's got touched by the Sauber, and Kuna Matata having a bit of a moment as well. So these 3 all fighting for position. Polar's going to defend the inside. Kuna Matata's got another stop-go penalty. I'm presuming that will be because of the yellow flag, so I wonder if that will get removed or not. I would think so, considering it's a glitched car. Into turn 1 now. Polar holds the outside. Jai down the inside. Has he gone too deep? The American will come back at him. But I think Jai just has that little bit extra rubber that he requires at this stage of the race. With just 3 laps to go now, Kuna Matata surely got a podium in the bag. Up the inside from Polar. It's not really a move of any aggression or intent. We've got Aaron falling down the order at the moment, so I wonder what's happened with him and KLC. Oh, and these two getting way too close for comfort, and Aaron spun round by KLC. That is not a surprise to see at all. Smertens picks off KLC now for 9th place. He's going, thank you very much. Bendel picks off Aaron Taylor, who has gone. He has gone from the session, so we'll see no more of the McLaren. He's had enough with 2 laps to go. KLC and Smertens now fighting for that last, or for the 2 points rather, for 9th place. Meanwhile, back up the front, it is Jai that's got a bit of a gap now to Polar. You could have kept with Kuna Matata, to be honest. He's not that far behind. But we've got Jake in the background. He's not too far behind Polar either, but he's not going to catch him in time, unfortunately. Just don't think he's got the fuel, maybe. Bender, was he close enough to KLC? No, he's too far behind, so KLC would get up the final point unless time penalties play a factor in this battle. Other than that, everyone else is pretty spaced out and set for position, apart from these two. Oh, what is a move down the inside from KLC? It's aggressive, but it's fair, and he's through into 9th place. A good move from the house driver. We haven't seen many of those from him recently, but he's done himself justice there with that overtake. Smertens will surely have a go into turns 1 or 4. They've only got 2 laps to go now. Oh, a little bit of a kick of oversteer as they come out of turn 1. A low speed corner is always tricky to navigate later on in the race when the tyre deck is high. But I wonder if Smertens has the pace here to actually get past him or not. Because he's dropping back here. He's got a little bit deep into 7. He's definitely dropping back. He's got very poor tyre wear. This Jai gets another 3-second time penalty. And has he dropped out of a second? No, he will have DRS then. Just enable him to close it up a little bit closer. You see his teammate lurking in the background, that's Bendel. The trouble with these guys, they constantly finish on the brink of the points. It's not really good enough, unfortunately for them. It's consistent, but it's not quite good enough for them. And yeah, it's definitely evident that Smertens doesn't have the pace at this stage of the race. KLC beginning to put away now. He's got the gap to over a second. That will help him massively at this stage. And we move on to the final lap now. And Jamesy's already coming into the last sector as we see now. He's had an absolutely brilliant race, the Ferrari driver. He's raced hard when he needed to against Jai, who then got a puncture, and from there on in it's really been easy, as you like, for Jamesy. He's just had to keep it clean and make sure he's not put his car on the wall. He's had time to make another pit stop if need be. He's done the one stop magnificently today. Jamesy will take the lead of F3 Championship here in Bahrain and will win the race. That's another one to add to his collection for the season. He's won a couple already, hasn't had the best results in recent times, hence losing the lead in the championship, but he's done himself all the good today. And he will take the lead of the championship by 1 point, because Kuna Matata there in the background getting very wide. Francis Jessica celebrating already. Coming down into the last couple of corners now. A good race from Francis Jessica today. Really strong performance, finishing P2. And Kuna Matata, the championship, now 2nd place. Sitter, a very good P3. And Jai with P4, the other newcomer. P5 for Polar, 6th for Jake. It's going to be 7th for PFC Steve. And unfortunately for him, Ollie will be behind him. His teammate KLC's dropped Smertens by another second or so. And that's presuming Show George is still not here, so he will not be classified. I don't think there's going to be any position changes between these guys. KLC takes 9th place. Smertens will take 10th place, the last point position, and behind him his teammate Bendel in 11th place. Congratulations to Jamesy. Well done to him. He's had a good race this weekend. Didn't quite get pole, but he converted it brilliantly. And now for our podium sitters today. We've seen these guys on the podium so often in F3, Kuna Matata and Jamesy, the Ferrari and Toro Rosso drivers. Will they do the same in F2 next season? They're surely in for promotion now, with only 3 races to go now. And as we can see, the final standings mean that Jamesy will take 1st place without any time penalties, along with Francis Jessica. Kuna Matata will take home 3rd position, along with Jai in P4. P5 is Polar Bliss. 6th is Jake in the end, after having quite a good first stint, and it all just fell away from him. Steve in 7th, Ollie in 8th. The Red Bull drivers not really kicking off from where they started on the grid, unfortunately. But further down the order, we have Smertens picking up a couple of points for Renault, and KLC picking up the last point after time penalties for 10th position. As we look a bit further down the order now, we have a couple of DNFs there for Miles. Aaron was in there as well, unfortunately for those guys. But a good turnout for F3 today. Hopefully we can have the same next week. That's all for this week. we are back at the same time next week in Baku. So don't miss that one. That should be a good race. We'll see you next week then. Bye bye.